and there's nothing I have to do on my own stand. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Feel alive, have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself. Feel alive, have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness. Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone and there's nothing I have to do on my own. Sing! I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God, you are the place, we are the place where God shows up. I am the place where God, you are the place, we are the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Sing it one more time. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Cat Williams and our amazing Unity Band. Yeah, Cat Williams in the house. Whew. So now is a time in our service where we would like to welcome anyone that is new. Is there anybody here for the first time or the first time in a long time? Welcome, welcome. Our greeters will be handing you a blue card that will look like this. And on there is a red heart, and if you would like to place that somewhere so we can recognize you after today's service, we'll make a point to give you an extra welcome. So thank you for joining us, and let's welcome everyone here in the live stream. Thank you for joining us today, and we want to extend this blessing. So let us rub our hands together, open our hearts, and say, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. And thank you for joining us today. Now is also the perfect time to be sure that your cell phone is on silence. God may call, but in a quieter way. I'd like to share with you some announcements here. Just a reminder that we have expanded our nursery care. We are growing, our youth program is growing, and we now have in the hallway here, we have the nursery, and then we have a separate space for toddlers. So we are growing that much with our young folks. So if you'd like to check out the new space, please do so following today's service. And I see some of you waving, and we'll be sure to lower the temperature in this room. And also, we'll be collecting non-perishable items for the Interfaith Assistance Ministry through the end of the month. This afternoon, you may have thought you had other plans, but this guy is offering us a concert from 1:30 to 3, and I really invite everyone to come. It's given on a love offering basis, so come enjoy his amazing energy and music. Very interactive and delightful concert that starts at 1:30 this afternoon. And then we move on to the gazillion things happening here at Unity of the Blue Ridge. Yes, so please be sure that you are on our weekly e-news mailing list, and also please check our website as that is updated all the time. So in March, we've got a lot of events. As you can see, Tuesday evening, the 19th, we have Project Drawdown. There's information about what that is. That is facilitated by Pam and Charlie Rogers at 6:30 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, the 19th. And then we've got, oh yes, the Earth Care repurpose event. It used to be called the Earth Care Swap. What it is we repurpose anything that you would like to repurpose in your life that says, you know what, I think I need a new home. Bring it in. We'll have tables out in the foyer, and then we all have the opportunity to look to see what calls to us and then make a cash donation, and that supports our Unity Sustainability team. So that's happening on the 24th. And then we have Friday the 29th, we have Feed the Kids. If you'd like to participate in that, please see me. I'll point you in the right direction. And then on the 31st, as many of you know, in our community, we used to have monthly potlucks. They've been on hiatus. So this month, we're going to have a 5th Sunday potluck. So bring a covered dish to share, and following the second service, we'll join in fellowship and a meal together. There are many other activities coming up. We've got author Tama Keeves, who is coming on the first Sunday in April. Please be sure to check out the website for that information. She's also going to give a workshop in the afternoon. And then we've got, as you can see, a lot more. So please check your program bulletins, website, and I believe with that, we are aware. Now I'd like to introduce Madeline Parker, who is our Sacred Service Volunteer Director, and she will be giving our inspirational reading. Did I say Sacred Service? Secret? No, I said sacred really fast. It's like saying my big S self. If you say it too fast, Sacred Service Volunteer Director. Thank you.
Today's reading is from the Daily Word, and it's about world peace. When I establish peace in my life, I create peace in the world. Every time I exhibit patience and understanding, rather than react to circumstances, I contribute to peace. I know that what I give my energy to only expands, so I choose to look for ways to express harmony in my immediate surroundings. If someone seems contentious, I do not automatically decide it is my responsibility to set them straight. Instead, I listen to what he or she says in order to understand his or her point of view. Even if I do not agree with that person, I have acted with respect and integrity. Everyone who has strong viewpoints also has reasons for their opinions. Only by seeking to understand another can I aid in bringing about peace. When I establish peace in my life, I create peace in the world.
And now it is my absolute pleasure to introduce our guest musician and speaker, Charley Thweatt. Where'd you go? There you are. He brings an amazing gentleness and sense of humor and clarity and grace that I love to experience. I love being in your presence, and you're in for a treat with his message and more music. He is well versed in the Course in Miracles. He has traveled the world leading and playing music for spiritual organizations and leading workshops, and he's got an upcoming retreat in Italy. And so without further ado, please welcome Charley Thweatt.
Thank you. I'm going to sing a song called Just Speak the Truth. And you'll see later in my talk how this applies to the kind of trust it takes sometimes to just speak the truth. I wrote this in Italy, in Assisi. and I was a part of another workshop there, and we were about to do an exercise about telling your truth. And my truth was I really didn't want to be in that workshop. I was ready to be outside, and I said, do you mind if, and we were an odd number, so I didn't have a partner anyway, and I stepped out with my guitar, and this song was born within a couple of minutes. So I left a room about speaking the truth and wrote a song about it instead. So there's a kind of a long chorus, but see if you can join in on it, even if you just get the one phrase. Just speak the truth and tell me what you're feeling. Just speak the truth with kindness in your heart. Just speak the truth when things come up for healing. Just speak the truth and show me who you are. Show me who you are. Show me who you are. So sing that with me, even if you just get that line, just speak the truth. Just speak the truth and show me what you're feeling. Just speak the truth with kindness in your heart. Just speak the truth when things come up for healing. Just speak the truth and show me who you are. Show me who you are. Show me who you are. When your day isn't going quite the way you planned, and you watch as your peace just deserts you, then it's time to step up so your heart can make a stand, and just let your friends know if they've hurt you. Just speak the truth and tell me what you're feeling. Just speak the truth with kindness in your heart. Just speak the truth when things come up for healing. Just speak the truth and show me who you are. Show me who you are. Show me who you are. If I didn't love you, then I would not be led to ask for the things that are missing. And it's not always easy to say what must be said. It takes courage to ask you to listen. I speak the truth. I tell you what I'm feeling. I speak the truth, as gentle as a lamb. I speak the truth when things come up for healing. I speak the truth and show you who I am. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, I told this story at the first service. I have to do it again today. That I've had the honor of presenting for this congregation since the mid '80s, back when it met in Arden, and it was Chad and Light, and I know they evolved here. And I've sat in the sanctuary with Chad too during one of the workshops I was leading, and that was maybe 7 years ago, 8 years ago. And what I remember most about Chad that evening, and we were chatting about our children, and I know that his boy and my boy were about the same age, and they played together when they were 4 years old here in Asheville. And he said, "Hey, show me a picture of your boy. What does he look like now?" And then he said, and he pulled out his wallet, and he said, "Listen, I'm going to show you this. This is my pride and joy." And he pulled it out. It was an old thing from like a colored newspaper ad, and there was 2 dish soaps, Pride and Joy. Corny. But I'll always remember that about Chad. He was a character. My talk this morning is called Flow, Flow, Flow Your Boat. Trust is not a dream. Flow, flow, flow your boat. Trust is not a dream. I'm going to look at several areas in my life where stepping into trust has really worked, and how life has shown up in those situations. But I always love to start off with a joke, so I have a joke for you. Are you ready? Okay, so this is about two guys on a Sunday afternoon looking for something to do. And one of them has a little two-seater airplane, so they decide they're going to fly out over the ocean and just go, sightseeing in their plane. And so they get up and they're out for about an hour out to sea, and suddenly they start having engine trouble. And so they have to quick, scurry and do an emergency landing, find this deserted island, and on the way down, they discover their radio isn't working. They can't even call for help. So they get safely on the ground and get outside the plane, and they're standing there. And one guy is really nervous about the whole thing, and the other guy is just super calm. And the nervous guy says, "Oh my God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? The radio's broken. We can't call for help." And the other guy says, "Well, just relax. Just trust. I'm sure it's going to be fine. But we have no food. We have no water. What are we going to do?" And the calm guy says, "Well, listen, something you may not know about me is that, back home, I'm making a lot of money with my investments. And in fact, I'm bringing in about $10,000 a week." "Well, who cares? We need food. We need water. What are you talking about?" And he says, "Well, maybe you're not getting what I'm saying. I'm bringing in $10,000 a week, and I tithe 10% of that to my Unity Church. And I know my minister will find me." I hope Darlene gets to hear that one. So flow your boat. Trust is not a dream. And I had something happen to me several years back, and it also involved an airplane where trust really showed up. So I do a lot of work in Italy. In fact, I'm leading another tour a month from now, and this will be my 57th time flying into Italy. So I've had the pleasure of being over there many times. Who would like to go with me in April? A show of hands. I have a couple of spots left if you're actually interested. But anyway, so I'm working in Sicily for this 4-day intensive, and when we wrapped up the event, I did the typical settling up with the organizer, and she paid me my fee as usual. And then I submitted my miscellaneous expenses as usual, and this time they were $90. But she said something different this time. She said, "Well, we're not going to pay that this time." And I thought, my feeling was that doesn't really feel fair. I didn't say anything, but I might have. But then almost immediately a voice in my head said, "Just let it go. Just let it go. There's a bigger plan afoot. You're always covered. Just let it go." So I just kind of took a breath and didn't say anything. I didn't bite the hand that feeds me. And but I remember thinking, well, if you found $90 on the sidewalk, you'd be kind of excited, right? But just let it go. You're always covered. There's a bigger plan afoot. So I let it go, and I said goodbye and thank you, and I made my way to the Palermo airport in Sicily, took a short hop over to Rome. That flight was running a little bit late, so I had to scurry pretty quickly to the international terminal for this 9-hour flight back to the U.S. Now, I've flown American Airlines consistently for 30-plus years, and when you're a top-tier flyer, they give you all these benefits, and in this case, I had reserved at no extra cost to me a business class seat for this 9-hour flight, and that's pretty nice for such a long trip, bigger seat, more comfortable, they bring you food all the time, and so I was very kind of excited about that. So I scurry across into the international terminal. I get in line at the gate, and I'm about 6th in line, so it's 45 minutes before departure. There's still plenty of time. So 10 minutes passes, and I'm still 6th in line. This line isn't moving, and 10 more minutes pass. Now I'm 5th, and it seems to be taking forever. There's a big hubbub, a lot of people around, not sure what's going on. I finally get up to the gate agent 45 minutes after I arrive. It's like time of departure. And she says to me, "Well, I'm sorry, sir, but your business class seat is no longer available." It's okay. But I was here, but it took forever. And she said, "I'm sorry, if you must have a business class seat, you could wait. Maybe there'll be one on tomorrow's flight or the day after that. I'm not going to wait around for my cushy seat." But then she says, "However, You know, if you'd be willing to take a seat on this flight, we do have an aisle seat and coach. And if you'd be willing to do that, American Airlines will be happy to compensate you for your trouble by giving you flight vouchers for future flights on American in the amount of $3,000. And I kind of shuffled my feet and said, well, I guess that would be okay. And I got on the flight, and it was fine. I don't have to have my cushy seat. And the flight went great. And about an hour into the flight, it dawned on me what had just happened. Earlier that day, I heard the voice that said, let it go. There's a bigger plan afoot. You're always covered. So I let go of $90 over here in Sicily. And I turned around in Rome to catch $3,000 coming in over here. And those flights support the work I do. You know, they get me around to do the mission, what I came to Earth to do. And I used it exactly for that. You know, you guys didn't fly me here. When I fly to places, it's usually out of my pocket and I work it out. And I know there's a bigger plan afoot, and it always works out. But isn't that beautiful? To let go of 90, to trust, hear that voice that says, just trust, and then to be supported so quickly and obviously. And I have to wonder, if I had squeezed on the hose over here and if I had struggled and created this energy, I'm not sure this would have happened. I think that whatever we're putting out is what we're receiving. Whatever energy we're choosing to live in is what we're drawing back to us as well. There's a great little kind of koan type of quote in A Course in Miracles that says that. It says, the cost of giving is receiving. So it's almost like it's either your treasure or your penalty. Whatever you're putting out there, that the cost is either you're going to get that same energy back either way, good, positive or negative. Whatever we're putting out is what we're going to end up receiving. And for me, that was a beautiful lesson in trust. Just let it go, and wow, look what happened. I've done a lot of touring for now. I need to update my bio from what you read earlier today. 37 years I've been doing this work as of this week, where I took this leap of faith out of my architecture cubicle into I want to be a traveling troubadour. And somehow it's still working 37 years later. And I know in the early years, one of the big helps in this career was something, maybe you've heard of it, it's called overdraft protection. So that's a step in trust sometimes. You know, it's like, I'm not sure how it's all going to work, but just keep putting it out and be ready to receive. Put it out and ready to receive. In my travels, I toured for 7 years a lot with a friend of mine named Alan Cohen. He's a wonderful author and speaker. Does his name ring a bell with anybody? He has some great books. Yeah, you'll be inspired. Books like The Dragon Doesn't Live Here Anymore and Handle with Prayer, things like that. In our touring, I remember him from the stage. He said something where he asked the audience to like curl up their fingers to make a little pinprick of a hole. Would you do that with me right now? Just kind of make a little pinprick with your hand and then look through it around the room. And he said, of all the things that are happening in life, this is about how much you can see. And then he said, now unfurl your fingers so nothing is blocked. He said, this is what God sees. And the kind of joke on ourselves is that we're busy trying to control everything in our life based on this much information. Is that crazy? And you talked about how a lot of us take on this role as the general manager of the universe. Do we have any general managers of the universe in the audience today? I'll raise my hand. And are you willing to resign that role? Because you've been doing it based on this much information. You know, can you relax into trust and know there's a bigger plan afoot and you can't control it all and you don't know everything. And sometimes you just have to wait and see and let go and just let it go. Let it go. There's a quote in A Course in Miracles that it's a great little one-liner. You could put this on your fridge, on your dashboard. It just says simply, trust would settle every problem now. Trust would settle every problem now. Can we say that together? Trust would settle every problem now. Why don't we take a big breath after that? Can you let something go with that thought? Trust would settle every problem now. It's the same thing we've been saying in Unity for years about divine order. Can we really believe everything is in divine order? Because if we did, that's trust, and we could just Let it go. We don't have to be the general manager of everything. Trust would settle every problem now. There's a song that came to me many years ago, and it says much the same thing. In the chorus, the words go, in time, we see the working out. And we find that there's peace there. Think of some mess you were in 5 years ago, where you didn't see, how is this going to work out? And as time passed, you realized, this had to happen because that led to this, and that led to this. And you see how it's part of a bigger puzzle you didn't see at the beginning. And it does resolve itself in peace. Why did I have to lose that job? Why did I have to have that divorce? Why? But later you see. So use that principle. And knowing that, now look at whatever mess you're in this week. And can you apply that same principle, knowing, I don't see it, but I know this is leading to something. Trust would settle every problem now. If we could step into knowing that truth. It's all resolving itself. We just don't see it yet. I first got my start in Unity in 1980 at a big Unity church in Houston. I was born and raised in Texas, and that's where I found Unity and got really involved in the music program, etc. And one of my friends I made there is a guy named Springborn, and he's one of these guys, Springborn, and like Madonna, Cher, Springborn, just has one name. And he was a very cool guy, and I would call him kind of a Renaissance man. He was into arts, architecture, brain research, music, whatever. He just loved all these things. And I remember once he said something to me that always stuck in my mind. He said, Charlie, I love putting myself out on the leading edge of my ignorance. I love putting myself out on the leading edge of my ignorance. Out on the edge of what we don't know yet. Ignorance doesn't mean stupidity, it's just what we don't know. That's where the adventure is, out on the border, out on the frontier of our minds. If we're always doing what we always do here in this safe place, where's the growth in that? Where's the awakening if we're not stretching ourselves? Are you ready to put yourself on the leading edge of your ignorance? Is there some way you've been meaning to stretch but you haven't lately? Something that's been on your mind? So out here on the frontier requires trust. We have to take these leaps into the unknown. That requires trust. Where's the awakening in this? Just staying where we've always been. Trust would settle every problem now. I think I'm going to refer to a bunch of quotes today that the different friends have said that have made a difference in my life. I have a friend who's a naturopath, and once she said to me, and this is more of a physical statement, but it ended up applying to me metaphysically. She said, the body loves circulation. The body loves circulation. And that statement changed my life because I found that I really felt the truth of that, like these bodies need to move the juices and have intake and outtake and release and sweat and do whatever, move the juices around. If we're sedentary, that's not really happening. And so what happened is I began to walk regularly, many times every day for an hour. I just realized my body, yes, that sounds so true. I want to take care of my body. And I'm 20 pounds lighter than she was the day that she told me, than I was the day she told me that. It's made a difference. And the parallel for us is I also realized that our relationships need circulation. Our relationships need circulation to move the truth between us and how we communicate with each other. And for me, a great metaphor for this, in the past when I've had the flu, and like I have a heavy fever, usually if I'm in that situation, you will find me in the bathroom hugging the cold tile floor, just trying to stay a little bit cool in the midst of my fever. And often what's happening in my mind when I'm lying down there is that, or what's happening in my body is saying, I really want, forgive the graphic word, I really want to vomit. My body is saying, please let me vomit. But my mind does not want to go through that. I don't want to vomit. Can you relate to that? It's like your body, please release it, let it go. But my mind. I don't want to go through that experience. And if I would just let it go, I'd feel better. Just release it, flow it through. So what I've realized is sometimes we treat relationships in the same way. So imagine you're in a relationship with someone, and there's some issue that you should probably talk about. I don't know if it's just the men, but for me, this is how I have operated, like the don't rock the boat kind of a mentality. Like if I don't bring it up, maybe we won't have to talk about it. Can I creep around this issue, and no one will talk about it, and eventually it'll just go away? Do you know what I'm talking about? When if we would just express, bring it up, talk about it, and move on, it would clear the air. Relationships love circulation, and it requires trust. And here, this is probably the crux of that in this statement, in this question, really. Is my relationship, is our love stronger than this issue? And we want to say, yes, I can trust that our love is bigger than whatever issue comes up, right? But trust is required to step into the breach, to, as the song said, just speak the truth. And show me who you are. I speak the truth and show you who I am. Can I step into that deep of a trust? There's another quote in A Course in Miracles: I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because he who sent me will direct me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because he who sent me will direct me. So often we're called into situations in our life where, like someone has an emergency, or you come help me, and I don't know what I'm going to do. But often it's really just about showing up. Just be there for support and trust that it will be given what to do in the moment. We don't have to know everything before we show up. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because he who sent me will direct me. Sometimes it's just about showing up and being open to what wants to happen, being available, just bringing your heart to a situation. I have another quote about worry, and it comes from a totally different source, Mark Twain. And so we've got Course in Miracles, I do not have to worry. Now, something Mark Twain said was, I have proven that worrying works. He said, I have proven that worrying works because everything I've ever worried about never happened. There's some wisdom in there somewhere. Well, I want to close with a story about something that happened to me when I was singing at a church in San Jose, California. And the minister there, I was singing, he was giving the talk, and he stood up and he did this kind of confession at the beginning of his sermon, the beginning of his lesson. He said, I have something to confess to you, that every Sunday I've actually been giving you the same talk. He said, I've changed the words around to make you think it was a different talk, but really every Sunday I've really just been saying three things. And this is what I've been saying behind it all. Everything is God. This includes you. Act accordingly. Isn't that great? Everything is God. This includes you. Act accordingly. Can we say that as an I statement? So everything is God. This includes me. And I act accordingly. One more time. Everything is God. This includes me. And I act accordingly. So if we stop and look at that, if we start to live from that, as being part of that divine, then trust becomes innate. If we're living in that God place, we really rise and rise and rise in our awareness and our consciousness and how we live to everything is God, and this includes me, then in God, there's not even a need for trust, is there? We're already in that place of oneness and knowing the flow of everything that's happening. We don't even need, we're not aspiring to trust, we're living as it. Everything is God, this includes me, and I act accordingly. Trust becomes innate. and we can truly flow our boats, knowing trust is not a dream. And so it is. Let's close our eyes for a song into meditation. Sitting here in silence, talking to God each day. Sitting here in silence, talking to God, I pray. I can call for help anytime. Talking to God each day. I can send out help anytime. Talking to God, I pray. Sing with me. I can call for help. I can call for help anytime. Talking to God each day. I can send out help. I can send out help anytime. Talking to God, I pray. Sitting here in beauty, talking to God each day. Sitting here in beauty, talking to God, I pray. I can call for help. I can call for help anytime. Talking to God each day. I can send out help. I can send out help anytime. Talking to God, I pray. One more, sitting here in peace. Sitting here in peace, talking to God each day. Sitting here in peace, talking to God, I pray. I can call for help. I can call for help anytime. Talking to God each day. I can send out help. I can send out help anytime. Talking to God, I pray. I can call for help. I can call for help anytime. Talking to God each day. I can send out help. I can send out help anytime. Talking to God, I pray. I pray. Let's take a deep breath in. Trust would settle every problem now. There's a bigger plan afoot, and you are always covered. Let us always remember that at our core is that spiritual essence we always are. There's a deep well of peace, a deep well of stillness, a deep sense of trust. Always available. We are that peace. We are that stillness. And as we look out our eyes into our world, we look from that peace. We look from that stillness. We bring that into our world. And it doesn't matter so much what we're looking at as where we're looking from. It doesn't matter what we're looking at as much as where we're looking from. And we look from peace. We look from stillness. We look from spirit. We look from who we are. I am peace. I am stillness. Let's whisper those words together. I am peace. I am peace. I am stillness. Trust settles every problem now. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I've been busy since the last time I was here 2 years ago. I have 3 new items. So one of them is Letting It Fly. You heard Just Speak the Truth off of this one. This is a bunch of children's music that I've been writing for 37 years and finally got in the studio and did. So Riding on the Train, you can go woo-woo with your kids. And this is me in concert. Take a wild guess where it was recorded. Okay, I'll tell you, right here in this room. And Mike Berkeley, when he was here, helped me put this together. So I have me on DVD doing a concert right here. So come see me afterwards. Also, if you're going more digital, I have all of this on thumb drives at super discounts, and there are flyers about the Italy trip. So come see me. Thank you so much. It's great being here. Thank you.
So now is a time in our service where we prepare for our tithes and our offering. And so we know that who we are and what what we bring in our time, in our gifts, in our finances, and all the gifts that we share is an expression of giving back. And all of that goes to support this amazing community, Unity of the Blue Ridge. And right now we are viewed worldwide through our live streaming. And what a wonderful experience for all of us to collectively support that kind of light and message and love in the world. So as we prepare, let us repeat this blessing together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. I am now in perfect balance and flow with the universal tides of giving and receiving. Thank you, God. And so it is.
Wave after wave after wave after wave after wave is breaking down the wall. Hey, I have an idea. Can I ask you to be corny with me and pretend like you're on American Idol? Whenever we sing the wave after wave chorus, you can wave your arms, okay? Let's try that. Wave after wave after wave after wave after wave is breaking down the wall. Wave after wave after wave after wave after wave is breaking down the wall. You can join me. I'm lost in useless patterns that seem so comfortable, and things that used to work are now unbearable. Sing with me. Wave after wave after wave after wave after wave, and breaking down the wall. Oh, wave after wave after wave after wave after wave, and breaking down the wall. Your love is like a garden that you keep offering. You wrap me in that fragrance, and I keep opening. Wave after wave after wave after wave after. I'm letting down the wall. Oh, wave after wave after wave after wave after wave, I'm letting down the wall. You're nothing but useless patterns that seem so comfortable, and things that used to work are now unbearable. Wave after wave after wave after wave after wave, I'm letting down the wall. Oh, wave after wave after wave after wave after wave, I'm letting down the wall. 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 Thank you. Thank you, band. Thank you.
Please be sure to come back for the concert. And now I'll invite our ushers to come forward. And along with our ushers is Julia, one of our prayer chaplains, and our sacred service volunteer coordinator, Madeline. And these are all aspects of what really supports community. It's a foundation of prayer. It's the sacred service that we bring and share our passion and our talents with. And then, of course, the financial aspect to keep this ministry going. And with that, we'll have Julia bless the offering.
Thank you. Divine Spirit Source that we each are, both individually and collectively. We are so grateful for this community, for the love, for the teachings that we receive here. Help us to take it out into the world. And we're grateful for our speaker, singer, songwriter today, and his reminding us to just trust. And we're grateful for these offerings. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you. And let us close by standing and singing the peace song.